Tom, you did public speaking event on Saturday, and you said that you were obsessed with data when you went to Kenya.
Yeah.
And some of the responses you got back from the Kenyans who are pro runners was just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
do you remember what you said?
Not really.
I love how you just teed him up to say that perfectly, mate.
Can you remember?
Okay, I remember.
Yeah,
well,
I've done my job correctly.
And you were talking about how they start running and they always run in packs, and they don't look at how fast they're running on the day. They're always trying to chase the person in front of them to be better.
Yeah. So they're not trying to hit a certain pace. They're just trying to be with the person in front of them. And if they know they're with the person in front of them, and they're not dropping back from them, that they are getting better on that run.
Yeah. So if we have somebody that's maybe they don't have a specific goal at the time, but they want to measure progress, then they can look at running somebody with someone that has been similar to them, and are they still in line with their paces?
It's tough sometimes though, isn't it? Because, for example, in trail running, so much can go wrong.
Yep.
You know, and
does
people,
yeah.
I mean, from the top all the way down. I mean, Tom Evans was third in UTMB last year and pulled out 30k or 80k in this year, but a few weeks earlier had won Western States.
Yep.
Every trail race is different. So there almost needs to be a heightened state of self-awareness and maturity around things. What you're saying, Tom, is like, how's this thing making me feel?
Yeah.
Which is hard.
It's very hard. And you have to go through the steps. I think if you're sat across the table as a new triathlete and you've watched, whatever YouTube on people with power, blah, 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 and your belief is that data is going to get you where you want to go, we can sit here and say you need to relax, but it won't matter to you. I think it's really good to go through a period of data and train to it, and then fall into a period away from the data. And it's exactly what we're saying at the start of the show is on season, off season, and being cool with flipping between two. And I think if you can develop that skill of caring about the data enough that it gives you good direction, but not caring about it so much that it affects your performance, you're in a good place.
But if you continue to measure if you continue a program that, for example, if you have a FTP on the bike of 250, and you know that having an FTP of 250 is going to help you to enjoy riding a mountain bike or riding in the group, then you can still have a goal related to that metric to keep a 250 FTP or to keep a 45-minute or a 42-minute 10K, right?
Yeah, and one of the great ways that's come back on this last month has been the time trials out of Kudra.
Yeah.
And people try and hit FTP sets indoors, on their trainer through the summer, send them outside on their race bikes with people around them on a time trial, and they're putting 15, 20 watts on it. And again, it comes down to that, if you'd gone out and ridden to what you thought you could do on a turbo, you wouldn't have done that. But they were told to go out and just ride hard.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's changed. So that it's a great lesson of what data can be used for, but also, it's not all about the data all the time. Yeah.
I think a lot of people need to have a base layer of data to almost, as this is my minimum standard.
Yeah.
I know that I can run, or I will always run a 45-minute 10K, and I want to stay at that. And if that's my 70% of fitness, and if I want to push, then I'm going to get it down to 42. If I'm not focused on my running, or I've had some issues with my running, then it might jump up to 47 or 50. So I think for people, what I'm really trying to get to is, it's all good, like you said, mate, telling people to relax, to get away from it. But if you're struggling with that, but you still want to have adventure or just go to races and have some fun, you need to create something that's like your 70 to 80% of what your acceptable standard is and this could be the same, well, it should definitely be the same with body analysis. Where do you want to keep your weight? Especially if we're talking about riding, right?
Yeah. Big time. And the other side to it, and it's something, we're all pretty good at, is being confident in ourselves as well when we are exercising, and not looking at the data to give us reassurance.
Yeah.
And being cool with saying on days you feel crap, it's because I feel crap because whatever, I didn't have a good night's sleep and I missed a meal yesterday or something. And on days to be like, I feel good here, so I'm going to crack on. If you're not aware of that, like you said, self-awareness, and you're not confident in your own ability, you will go looking to the data to give you answers.
And in that moment, if the data is poor from that day, you're going to crush yourself.
Yeah. It's so funny as well, like data measurement. Yesterday, me and Buzz are wearing a blood glucose monitor at the moment, and she's like, "Oh my God, my blood sugar is crashing." She was on, just come off a bike session. And I'm like, let me go and get my blood glucose monitor that I have a manual one, and let's compare it. Ooh. So we did a real-time comparison, and there was like 60 millimole difference of glucose in the blood. And the minute she saw the number, so one number was telling her she basically is having a really low hypoglycemic event, and it was at like 45 or 50, which like basically she should have been close to collapsing. And then I used my manual one and was like, and it suddenly put it to 100, which is like optimal. Suddenly she's like, "Oh, I'm okay then." Whereas before I was like, she's ready to hit the deck. Then I showed her the other number. I mean, either one could have been right. It could have been somewhere in the middle.
Or it could have been somewhere in the middle.
But I just thought, that's such a powerful show of what a number can do.
Yeah. It's an interesting scenario, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's the same as what you guys have spoken about on your show and what I've spoken about on here a number of times. You know, wearables, trackables, all of this stuff is like the anxiety and we know what we're talking about, the recovery score and the anxiety it creates around that. And it's like, how do you feel? Well, I feel okay, but I'm angry because it says I've only recovered 5%, but I feel great. And I've just run, 10K in close to a PB time, but I'm still angry.